30 seconds to go and we back at it. It's this Zwift Insider Tiny Race Series. I missed last week. I was kind of sick. I didn't post over the last week. I've been changing up a little bit how we're going to do the format. What I'm going to do now is post all 4 races at one time. I'm still going to do my old blog, old post, where I post other races in between the week, like stage 4 and the stage 5 of those Zwift Race Wartopia. But I'm going to do these in a whole series in one swell swoop. And we're off. I sped them up so that I can get them all in so they don't take forever, an hour it takes to run these races. But I decided to speed them up so we can get them all in at one time. As you can see on this race, I'm coming up on being in front of the pack. I'm constantly trying to maintain a certain power. Like I said, it's starting to get harder and harder for me to run these kind of races. I don't know if it's because of the time period or whatever, but what I did do was not race Friday and try to give my body a little time to make up for the hill a little bit from. I did a team time trial Thursday night, which I will post on here. Funny thing is, I missed the first 5 minutes of the race. I forgot, I thought I was recording, I forgot to hit record. I did record the rest of the race, which was about a 40-minute race. I'm gonna speed it up when I do post it, but I will post it on here. So this was gonna come out tonight on Monday morning, but the rest I'm gonna start coming out on Tuesdays. These kind of with the series, I'm gonna start posting them on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So as you see, I'm racing, and the funny thing with this race, it was tandem in this race, and it was fun racing tandem because I hadn't raced him in a while. So we was racing on here, and it felt good. Now you see on this course right here, the Glasgow, it's a real good course for me. But coming around the corner on this one, because when I come down the down slopes on these, I can go down, I can go up, and on the back side of that hill is perfect for me, just to catch him in time. Now, the funny thing is, I think Tandem realized that. He raced this race at a different pace. He was like ready for what was going on. And so we was racing, and I was just like, wow, man. It was a cool race. It was a nice race, but he knew what was gonna happen. He knew about this course in me, because he raced this course at a pace where I was running with him, and it was really cool. But like I said, he knew how I ran this course because he saw the first run around. So I ran with him on the second run around, and it was only 2 laps on this thing. He's riding with me. And he's trailing behind me. Now, I did try to slow down for him and let him get in front of me, but no, he wasn't gonna have it. He gonna make sure he stayed behind me. I even slowed. If you look at the thing though, I did keep my RPMs up. I kept them about 450, 430, 440, somewhere in there. I try to keep it just over 400 so I can race at a pretty steady pace. These are shorter races, so I don't have to worry about getting 20-minute time down on them, because I can put all my full power into it, and I can hold it for quite a while. Now, I can't say something as with this series as I'm putting them out. I'm gonna put all these 4 races out in one blog, just one whole thing. And that's because I run the series every week, and I think it'll come out better if people saw all 4 races at once. So that's what I'm gonna do with these from now on, just run this as a series, and I'm gonna post it on Thursdays from now on. So I'm on Tuesdays from now. As we come on the second lap, you see he got a good start, and I could never catch it. He was gone. He knew once he got over the hill, he just hammered it out, and I didn't even see him no more. Now, to play this fair, I thought about that. I said, okay, cool. If you're gonna do that on the next one, I'm not gonna give you a chance to leave me like that. So we come around, and I'm looking for him because I'm trying to figure out where he at. I don't even see him. He took off on that race, and I decided what I was gonna do is, once I looked up and saw how far I left everybody else behind me, how far they were behind me, I decided that, I'm just gonna slow down and save myself for the next one, because he really just took off. And I was like, wow. And like you said, you don't even see him nowhere around me. He came over that hill and he blasted off. And so, I slowed down the last 500 feet to go on this race. And man, I hadn't seen him the whole other side of that hill. He did a great job, Tandem. I give it to you, man. You put it to me on that one. So we finished up this race. We're gonna scoot on over to the next one, and I'm gonna let y'all see how that race turns out too. So here we are again. We on number 2. Now, this number 2 is a great race. This number 2 now, I did something I'm not used to doing. I got in the end of this race. I just pushed myself till I couldn't push myself no more. And we're off. And this is the volcano race. This is another one of my faster races. Now, I wish I could have got back to racing today. I'm forced recording these on Sundays. I wish I could have got back to racing at 11 o'clock, which I really wanted to do, but I was hosting a party that night, so kind of got caught up and never could get back to racing that day. But hey, things happen. So we get it going on this race, and this is one race where it was just one lap, but the volcano, as I've stated to y'all before, is a fast-paced race for me. So as I'm going, I get out in front, I lead the pace up some, and I just said, well, I'm gonna ride hard right here and just take off on this thing. And as I'm riding, I'm looking for people to catch. I'm looking for Tandem. I know Tandem really pushed on that last one, so I'm thinking he may be a little bit more gassed than normal, but he was there with me. So I said, well, what we're gonna do is just gonna push this thing on out. And once I was determined that once I got to the flats on this one, I was just gonna push it and just make everybody else have to really push it. Now, somebody got out in front of me on this one, but he could sustain it. And for the most part of this day, of these 4 races, it was mostly me and Tandem. There are some things went on in the last one. I think I pushed on these first 3 so hard that it kind of took away from on the end. Now, the problem with that is, like I say, my peak is around 20 miles and I start losing it. What happens with these tiny races is I push so hard on each race that I have no chance to really cool off like I will in a longer race. That's one thing I'm starting to figure out, is that I don't have the time to cool off like I do in a longer race, where I can bring my pace back down to a steady pace, because I'm trying to maintain my pace, trying to keep my lead, and I can really cool down. But when I'm doing these tinies, there's no room for that. There's no room for that. This is all out, balls to the wall, we gonna go. And we was doing it, so Tandem, I got in front of Tandem on this one. Now, I knew that once we come down this little hill right here, whatever I was gonna be at, I was gonna have to sustain, and that's what I did. And man, I was like, you know what, if you're gonna ride with me, you're gonna just have to keep up with me, Tandem. I'm sorry, man. I was just like, hey, I gotta win. These are my races. All 4 of these races are really built for me. The last one was kind of, but for the most part, the first 3 were built for me. You put me in second place on the first one. I was not gonna take a second on this one. So I hammered it out. You see my heart rate at 160. I'm putting out 500 watts and I never slowed down. 110 pedals per minute. I was not gonna let him get in front of me no more. And that was it. I was just gonna keep pushing as I pushed on this thing and said, well, if you're gonna take it, you're gonna have to take it. And you see, I kept 110 pedals per minute, almost 600 watts for the last, oh man, 2 minute and a half of racing. I was rolling on this thing. And you see, I slowed it down with the last 500 feet, and I was happy because I looked down and I saw Tandem and finally fell off about a second, but I was not gonna let up. I just kept pedaling and kept moving. And that was a great race. So as we move into the race number 3, I was looking at this race as that this is another one of mine. This is the Downtown Dolphin. Downtown Dolphin is my thing. I have to admit, I love the Downtown Dolphin. I was looking forward to the Downtown Dolphin, and I knew this was gonna be a race. And we're off on this one. And as we take off, you see, I'm putting up the watch of what I'm taking off, but Zwift shows something else when I looked on the app. The companion app shows something else. Zwift shows, I try to see what it shows when I take off on here, and I put it up there. And then when the companion app comes out, I check it to see what it shows. Now, this race, this is the 3rd race. And like I say, Dolphin is me. And we got 3 laps on this Dolphin. And I'm looking at, okay, cool. I know Tandem's gonna be there with me. But this new guy, I didn't know who he was. But I knew that on this one, when the cobblestones go uphill, that lets me know that I got the Humpty Humps that can really be in my favor. Now, when the cobblestones go downhill, that means that I gotta really, really push it. I gotta take advantage of the downhill. I really am better on the reverse than I am on the forward one, because the reverse puts the cobblestones going downhill. I know I have a climb on when the cobblestone is going uphill. I know that's gonna be about a 6 or 7% on the climb. So once I come over that climb, though, I have a little flat where I can lead. And that's what I did. I decided, well, you know, the Humpty Humps, once I get a good going on these Humpty Humps, I know they roll in hills, but I like to call them Humpty Humps. You see, Tandem was right there again. Now, I want to say, if Tandem hadn't been there today, I would have won probably all 40 because I wouldn't have pushed myself so hard on number 2 and number 3 to take the lead on those. I noticed that at one point I was pulling away pretty good on number 2, and I would have had a chance to rest up on number 3. So as we all sitting there, we're going around on this second lap, and I look at Tandem and I see him riding with me, and we riding pretty good, but we got a whole pack with us. I'm not worried about them. I know that once we come around here, I set myself, I know on this turn, when we come around this turn, we go down. I'm trying to remember what this turn is. When we go up this turn, the cobblestone right here, I know I gotta put it in. And you see I take it up to about 600. And I just ride it and I keep you from getting in front of me. If I don't let you get in front of me when we come over that hill, I can take off and I hit the anvil block close to on the Humpty Humps on this one. Because I noticed that Tandem was doing. I learned from him. See, when you do something around me and I'm racing, I'm trying to figure out when do I hit the Humpty Hump. When I hit the anvil, it's on the, okay, this one I hit it just before that. And I look up and I think Tandem hit him. He caught up with me. See, there it is. He had the anvil block on. And he caught up with me. So you know what I did on the next one? Final round, I remember Tandem did that, and I held this anvil block just for the Humpty Humps. So as we come around, I'm still riding good. Tandem's out in front. I look up, and I'm feeling great about this race. I said, we got a mile and a half, a mile and a quarter, and I decided just to go ahead and put it in. We're gonna ride around, come around, and once we get to that hill, if you cannot pull away from me on that hill, I'm taking it. So I know it's coming up soon. And I know that when we turn this turn, we go down, we're gonna make one more turn right here, and I get out in front and I just start hammering it early. You see, I hammer, I'm at 700 watts coming up this hill. I was not gonna let him just take this hill. And I knew if I could stay there, when I come over the hill, I'm not gonna hit my anvil block, and I was thinking he may hit his, but I know he wouldn't. When I saw him wasn't gonna hit it, I said, well, what I'm gonna do is wait till we get to Humpty Humps, and we both gonna hit it at the same time, and I will have the advantage. Because my weight will pull me up over the hills, and that's what I did. He hit his there, and I hit mine. And as you see, the weight of me pulling me over them hills put me out in front. Now, I slowed down on the turn where he caught up to me slightly, but I wasn't gonna let him pass me, so I just continued just to woof it out on this thing. And with him pushing behind me, he woke me out for this 4th race. And I was like, oh man, he went here, I jumped with me, man. I could have took all 4 of these for myself. So we get to the last one, and I'm really kind of tired. I really am. Now this is one of my races I like to run. Like I said, this is the 4th one of all this of the series. And it's a really good race. And we take off, and like I said, I put the takeoff up there and what is shown on the companion app. And as we take off, we riding as a pack. And I really didn't want to really take off really hard and leave everyone. I really wasn't, because I was tired. So as I got tired, I decided that I was going to just stay inside a pack and just try to pull off at the end. And somebody got in front and he was riding, but then Tandem got there. I said, well, you know what? I have to keep up with Tandem. So I decided to ride with Tandem. We ride pretty good on this race. I felt really good about this race. This was one of the races where I looked up and said, I'm going to place pretty high on this thing. And I wasn't really worried about the race. The race I won 2. I came in second on the first one. I won the second 2. This one, I just wanted to place in the top. I was trying to place in the tops at 10, I told myself. If I fell out, because I was really, you see my heart rate is at 158, 157, which is not really bad, but I had been running all day on these. So with this one, I was a little bit more tired. Especially with racing with Tandem, Tandem got, oh man, I don't know. I had to figure this out, because there's a sweet spot that I gotta have where I can race these, because I can race the longer races with no problem. But I gotta figure that little sweet spot out, which I'm eventually do. But as you see, we come around on this race and I'm right behind him, and me and him riding, and I look up and it's a 2-lapper. So it's just enough at the end where they put just enough of a hill where people can slowly catch back up to us. And like I said, if it was just me, I probably could have ran this a little different, because I would have had more of an energy at the end of the races. But Tandem, it's like if I'm racing with BB. I put more energy in these races because I want to win them, and it's the competition that you have racing with you. It's a lot of fun. So as I'm coming around on this thing, we get through the first lap, and I look up, and I realize that there's a group of us behind us, and I really want to slow down, but I don't know exactly where all the little hills are at on this thing. And we're still on the first lap, and for some reason I kept thinking it was going to be a nice little sharp climb at the end, and it really wasn't. So I kind of slowed down so I can prepare myself for the turn. And I kind of looked at the side over here, and I was looking at 2%, 1%, and I kept trying to see if it was going to jump up to like 8 or 9. But it really didn't. But this 5 was just enough because I wasn't prepared for it that people passed us, and we never really left them. So it was kind of like it was just. I'm gonna tell you what, as we come around in the second lap, we come up under here, we get the second lap, we're gonna get another anvil block, I think it is. As we come around in the second lap, I am really tired now. You can look at my picture, I'm sweating up a storm, I'm soaking wet. If I had a red or white shirt, you would know that thing was soaking drenched wet. I was drenched by now. And my heart rate is at 160, which I've been able to ride it for a while lately. But I think because I have been pushing on and off so long, that I was just tired. Now, I give it about another month or two where 160, 170 is gonna be my area of being comfortable at, and I'll be able to ride and I won't worry about that as much. But I'm getting to that point, I'm loving it. I want to also say thank you to everybody who supported me on this, and everybody who sent me well wishes out on when I put out my letting everybody know how a year of Zwift has been with me. Thank y'all for all your well wishes. Please like and subscribe to my video. I love making these. I love trying to be more of an inspiration to anyone who heavy like me. And I try to be somebody who understands. I want to be somebody that people understand that I didn't start off small. I started off big, trying to become a little smaller. So as you see me coming, it's a whole pack of us. And I really couldn't leave us because I was too tired. So I decided that I was just gonna try to ride and cut. Now I did try to put in a little bit right at the end, but I didn't have that super push. I didn't even have to push like I did in race 2 where I just hammered it out and just kept going and going. I really didn't have that. I had it close, but not where I wanted it at. And so that's why I was like, oh man, I wish I had it right at the right spot. But as you see at the end, I started getting past and I was just tired. And I guess I underestimated how far I was from the line. With that, I want to say thank y'all for watching the video, like and subscribe, and ride on.